So then we're transported back to the chase sequence where the jester main character is being chased by an abstracted demon clown. Okay, I had a terrible night of sleep, and it was because I was basically having nightmares over the digital circus. So we need to talk about it today. I thought what we would do today is just kind of like watch through some of the parts and just sort of discuss it. I'm still like messed up over this. I'm messed up over this show, and I'm a little surprised that it has me so psychologically messed up because it looks like it's supposed to be for children. And for that reason, I know for a fact that millions and millions of children have seen it. Now, if you don't know what I am talking about, consider yourself lucky, but also, I don't know how you don't know what I'm talking about because this video that I'm talking about has almost 300 million views on YouTube in the last 5 months since it was posted. So what we're looking at here is this video right here. Yeah, that. In particular, the pilot. I do think that this is supposed to end up being like a series where they're going to post more episodes. 298 million views. It is currently the most viewed indie animation pilot ever on YouTube in YouTube history. And it is like an animated, 25-minute cartoon 3D thing. But here is the website for the show. It's made by a company called Glitch Productions in tangent with this Gooseworks character. I've never heard of either of these. I know this is a whole entire world of like indie animation and all of that. I'm not a member of this world. I'm not a part of this world. I'm sure there's all kinds of things that I could say about the Glitch Productions and the Gooseworks person, but I really don't know anything about it. I just am a consumer who watched the video last night and had nightmares following watching the video. So here's the trailer for it, which we won't watch. But look, here's like pretty much the only thing on the whole website. Look, pilot reaches 100. It got 100 million views in 1 month. And when I was watching this, it kind of gave me the same vibes of like the Skibidi D toilet. Like, what in the Russian Canadian propaganda hell are they unleashing on the internet? But I'll keep my conspiracy theories to myself for a little bit longer today. So this is basically what it says pretty much at all on its website. It says the amazing digital circus, surreal, dark, animated comedy, pilot released October 13th, 2023. Was that a Friday? Was it Friday the 13th? I wouldn't be surprised. It was a Friday. It was a Friday. It was a Friday. How did I know? How did I know? So they released this thing on Friday the 13th, as you can see. Okay, so here is the plot according to the people who made it. A woman gets trapped in a crazy virtual world along with 5 other humans, and they're all now subject to the whims of wacky AI. What the? And their own personal traumas. Digital Circus asks the question, what if it was Toy Story, but everyone was a jerk? Again, what really is throwing me off the most about this is that it is obviously animated and presented to the world as if this is for children to watch. And I have had some of the most existential, like, level thoughts since watching it that it's like, I don't know if kids should be watching it, but then at the same time, I really can't put my finger on exactly why. Like nothing like particularly out of the usual, sort of out of the norm from kids shows happens in it. I mean, there's a little bit of off language, but it is always censored. So I don't know. I just thought we could just watch it kind of a little bit together and maybe do a little react and maybe do a little bit. I need to talk through my feelings. I need a little talk therapy, and I ain't going to a real therapist. So y'all are going to have to do, you know what I mean? Some people have commented that their kids like this and their kids want to play the games and all that. And I can't blame them. If I was a kid, I probably would want to as well. And they really have come up with a huge enterprise to run up off of this thing. Now, I do want to point out, this is not their first rodeo, these Glitch Productions people. It's a very successful animation studio, and they've been making, different types of series for a long time. So is this Gooseworks person. But it's just, I don't know. It just left me feeling like unsettled. Like it left me with an unsettling feeling that I literally still can't shake. I mean, it's right now it's 10:30 a.m. the next day. And I probably watched it yesterday, like 7 o'clock p.m. And I'm 33 years old. Like I I'm not a little kid, so maybe if I was a little kid, then it wouldn't have freaked me out. I'm freaked out over it. So without further ado, let me pull it up. I am going to pause this video a lot because I am just doing a commentary, a reaction. This is not supposed to be a substitution for the video. If you would like to watch the video, if somehow you are one of the people who has never seen it before, I will link it down below. And I do encourage you to watch it and form your own opinions. I'm still forming my opinions on it because there's a lot about it I really like. And I like that it made me think about some of this stuff. It's done well. It's done beautifully. The voice actors are great. The plot is pretty interesting. I mean, it's just kind of heavy, I guess. I don't exactly know. Maybe by the end of watching this with y'all, I'll have my mind made up a little bit more. I don't know where this is going to go, twists and turns. So all that to say, if you want to watch the video without my commentary, there's a whole entire video that exists out there without my commentary that you should go watch instead. I'll link it in the description box below. So it starts out in this kind of like Nintendo 64, like square, aspect ratio computer screen. So it kind of just pulls me personally. I'm a millennial. I was born in 1990. It pulls me straight back into those games we used to play in like the library, Oregon Trail, or maybe even like what was that Mario game? Super Mario World, maybe, where there were these little worlds you would go into. Like, it's very video gamey. It's very nostalgic. And as you can see, it has like pixels from a video game that would have been back in, maybe the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s.
Welcome to the amazing.
And then you have this theme song. It is just something out of a horror movie. It really is. So you have this main character guy. He is the ringleader, and his name is Cain. Cain, like, the first human born on earth, according to the biblical scriptures or whatever. Now, a little brother named Abel. Then Cain killed the brother. Remember that? So this thing's name is Cain, and its little character is like dentures with eyeballs inside of it, which is just horrifically unsettling. But let's continue.
My name is Cain. I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending pair of...
I'm having to pause it a lot. Again, I don't want to get copyright, in trouble anywhere, but he's here to show you the most mind-bending, jaw-dropping, and he's going to say paraphernalia, which doesn't seem like the right word, but just given how much attention to detail this series does have in it, I know for a fact somebody did put that word in there on purpose.
Paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon! Isn't that right, Bubble?
That's right, Cain. I can't.
Then he's got this Bubble sidekick, Cain and Bubble, instead of Cain and Abel, I guess.
Wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
So now we get the cast. We got Ringo and Zooble. And then we got this one right here. That's like a chess piece. Kingy, what's his name? Kinger. And y'all know all roads leads to clowns. So we got the Raggable, I don't know what her name is, but then there's going to be a clown you're going to see coming up, maybe next or the one after. And we never actually see this clown character, which becomes important because we do see what he turned into. Okay, and a lot of them have weird names. So this one is a clown, but it's not actually a clown. This is like a cutout. Disclaimer, Calfmo the clown did not show up today. And we're going to find out why here shortly. This is already, when I was watching this last night, I was like, it is surreal. And they did describe it as surreal. And again, we are told by the creators of this show that Cain is a wacky AI. So they're telling us, the creators of this show, saying like Cain, the quote, ring leader of this literal circus, isn't human. It's a wacky AI. And there is a distinction that's going to be made. But already last night when I'm watching this, I'm like, what in the symbolism hell is going on here? We got a pyramid. We got a teapot, which obviously brings you straight to the Mad Hatter and the time for tea, the tea time. That's what the White Rabbit was late for. He was late for tea time, so we got teapot. We got a record player with the, big speaker. I don't know what the symbolism could be there, but then there's this sort of all-seeing eye type of thing. And what is this, like a cue ball? I don't know what that thing is. Got flour in a pot, and they're just spinning in circles. And the theme song is like, we're here day after day after day after day after day after day, and we don't know why.
Day after day after day we fly.
They don't know why, and then they're showing us this Kane and Bubble. Okay, so there's gonna be a theme in the show. Two more things. This is gonna be a very long video, I assume. But also, this video I'm making right now is not for children. This is for adults. I'll click the not for children box. So this is not for children. I'm gonna be talking about some stuff. I don't know. Who knows what's gonna come up? This is for adults. Okay, just wanted to get that out there. And I'm not even 100% sure this show is for children. I don't know, girl. Let's keep going. This little jester, she's kind of like the main character. All roads leads to clowns. So we have this jester, and her name is Pomni. Now, the reason her name is Pomni is because you're going to see she cannot remember her name. One of the seeming like rules of this world is that the humans kind of start to forget everything and nobody can remember their name. Now, what just had collapsed down around her is the exit door. So that's a theme in this first episode. And again, it's only 25 minutes long, but it is so packed with stuff that, I mean, I could probably do a 3-hour commentary video on it, and who knows, maybe I will. But she's running for the exit. Like, so it already is giving you the idea that she wants to escape. This is not somewhere that she's having fun already, right? I mean, we're just in a theme song. We're just in the opening of the theme song. Day after day after day, we fly past the sun and the moon, and we don't know why. And it already in the theme song, if y'all don't know, I have an English degree. I did go to college for English, and then I went to graduate school for linguistics. So I pay very close attention to words. And I pay very close attention to why people who obviously have a lot of money and a lot of time to make this stuff might have chosen those words. And it just started making me feel like, even in the theme song, is this some type of satire for the world that we currently live in? Like, we're here day after day flying past the sun and the moon, and we don't know why. She's trying to get out, but she doesn't really know why she's even here. She doesn't remember her name. She's dressed like a clown. And she keeps trying to go to the exit. But every time she goes to the exit, or she wants to go to this exit, the door crumbles away.
Kane, is this one of your NPCs, or is this a new sucker?
Okay. Is this one of your NPCs, or is this a new sucker? An NPC is like a non-player character, like something in a video game that is not an avatar for a human. It's just in the game, and it's sort of programmed to do certain things, say certain things, but there's like a limited list of things that it can do, as opposed to an avatar, which is something where you pick your character, right? You ever play like Mario Kart or whatever, and it's like, I'm Princess Peach, and like you're controlling that character. It's not being controlled by the AI. It's not being run by the AI. So again, we have a distinction between the AI and the humans.
Because if it's a new character, we're gonna have to redo this whole theme song. I'm not doing that again.
My! It appears a new human has entered this realm!
How do I take this headset off?
Just keep grabbing at it.
So this is where my interest really got piqued. She's talking about taking off a headset. So apparently she put the headset on and she can't take it off.
That works for all of us.
I put on some weird headset, and now I'm here. Who are you people? Why can't I take it off? Where am I? Let's just...
So we're kind of getting the rules of the world a little bit, even in the first few seconds of the show, where this is actually a human who is from the real world, and she put on a headset and now she's here, which is actually, if you really think about it, terrifying. Like, if you woke up and you're here and you're like, all right, this is enough. I don't know if any of y'all have ever had like a so-called lucid dream, but it's like when you're dreaming and you know you're dreaming and then you try to wake up and you can't. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting here. And I just had one of those dreams recently. It was very intense. So maybe that's why this show freaked me out so much. But it's like, this girl can't get out. She can't leave.
Try to calm down. Everything's gonna be okay, new stuff. We've all been through this. Your head.
What the is going on?
No, my dear. We can't have any of that foul language around here. The amazing digital circus is a place to be enjoyed by all ages.
So here come the AI named Kane and his bubble, telling her she can't curse in this world. So again, I don't know why. And it starts to like sort of dawn on me that this is a multi-layered. This is a multi-layered type of situation story here, because it's also giving a little bit of our reality where it's like people can do the most depraved, deranged shit, And God forbid we say a curse word. It really is starting to feel that way. But you know what else it kind of feels like? I've started to realize this is similar to other themes that I've seen before for years. And I'm sure way more than just what I've seen. Because again, like I said, I'm not really a part of this like video game world. But do y'all know that show Black Mirror? There's a episode in I think like the 2 seasons ago. It's like the first episode, I think. It's kind of like a Star Trek ship. The premise of this episode of Black Mirror is that this one like computer programmer guy has created a bubble universe in a game, and he has he's extracted people's consciousness that he works with. He like, if somebody pisses him off at work, he'll go and collect like their coffee cup or their piece of gum or something, and he will put them as a character in his own little video game. But it's not just for fun. He basically traps like a fractal of that person's consciousness in the video game. And every night after he gets off of work, he goes in the video game and wreaks havoc. He makes himself the captain. And if people don't play along with him in his game, he will harm them. He will make it to where they can't breathe. He'll close their mouth off. He'll turn them into a monster and exile them to a planet. And as long as this video game exists, these fractals of people's consciousness will also exist in the game. It reminded me of another episode of Black Mirror, the one with Miley Cyrus, where she's like a pop star and then they make a little Ashley O doll and they take a part of her consciousness and put it into the doll.
Ashley too. We're friends. Hey there, I'm Ashley too.
So it's not just that this Ashley O doll is just a doll that sounds like her. It's like this idea of extracting a part of someone's consciousness. And of course, all this is fiction. I'm just talking about, the literary tropes and the writing tropes here. And the parallels that I saw with that Star Trek Black Mirror episode is that Kane is the obvious literal ringleader. And everything's just kind of up to him, like what adventures they go on and what they do. And in that episode, each time someone does get sort of transplanted into that game, they will be orientated by the current staff or the crew, right? So in that episode, it was like a crew of a ship, an airship, like in Star Trek. And they're like, yep, no, we can't get out of here. All we do all day is just drink. Like we don't even have private part. They're going all into it and stuff. But each time someone new gets there, they all have to sort of have an orientation to let the person know what's going on. And you can never leave there. It's literally an eternity. It's forever. And this guy comes in and tortures them. So this video game, this Digital Circus, really brought that Black Mirror episode to my mind. But it also brought to my mind this anime cartoon from, I don't know, like 15 years ago, maybe more, called Sword Art Online. And in that video game or anime, there's a video game where you put on the virtual reality headsets and you go into the virtual world and you have to win. And if you don't win, you die in the game. And if you die in the game, so many times, you die in real life. And so it's like, this isn't strictly speaking brand new concept, but the fact that all of those were kind of for, obviously for adults, and this one's for kids, it's like, why? I don't know. Again, I'm torn on it. Let's see what else they're doing.
You, my friend, stumbled into an incredible world of wonders where anything can happen, except for swearing.
This kind of reminds me of that SpongeBob episode where they're cursing. And every time they curse, it's like a dolphin sound or something.
Is
That's one of those sentence enhancers. Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
But this kind of gives you the idea that they have pretty much programmed this world so that you cannot actually express a curse word, which I could get into a whole entire psychological analysis on what I think is really going on with that. But this video is already going to be 4.5 hours long.
How do I, leave?
Well, don't freak out about it or anything, but,
She wants to leave.
we don't exactly...
You can't.
What?
Shut up, Jax. But yeah, he's right.
So you can't leave.
Welcome to your new home. And your new body.
A new home? What do you mean?
Guys, don't be mean.
We've been stuck here for years. Old Kinger over there's supposedly been here the longest.
Kinger been here the longest, and he don't look like he's doing too good. It don't look like, I mean, despite all the bright colors and the slides and the black and white tile floor and the clowns and the songs, it doesn't actually look like people like being here. And it's also obvious that these are all like avatars. These are fake bodies to represent the actual humans who are ostensibly stuck in this game. It's just really weird, but
That's why he's crazy.
so the longer you're there, the more crazy you start to be, is what they're telling us.
Oh, okay, now I get it. This is a dream, and I should just play along until I wake up, right?
Whatever you say.
And this thing has been disfigured by the Comperchicos, if you ask me, because he never stops smiling, even when he's saying like weird stuff.
They broke my comedy mask.
So, Kane, we having a new adventure today for the newbie or what?
So that poor thing is going to end up crying the whole episode because somebody stepped on its comedy mask. So now it's just sad all the time. And y'all, don't get me started about the symbolism. All road leads to clowns, and all the clown roads leads to jesters.
We give our brand new member a tour of the circus grounds first. Off we go!
Now she's getting a tour of the grounds.
Here we have the tent. These activities may include
Like what in the 1994 hell is that?
ball pits, mini golf, and here we have the grounds.
It's just, it's just weird.
Drown yourself in the digital lake or engage in ridery at the digital carnival.
Again, this is giving like video game, like you just opened a new video game there. The little AI inside is giving you a tour. It's got a little glove pointing, all circus themed. Here's the moon.
Of course not. This is the void. Not even I know what's out there. We stay right here, where I can keep my hundreds of all-seeing eyes on you.
Hello, Kane.
Now they're being watched. There's all seeing eyes, and there's hundreds of them. Girl, I don't know.
I love you.
Let's get out of here before the moon gets frisky.
This is another part that made me feel like, is this for kids? Is this supposed to be for kids? Because if it is, it's given the Nickelodeon Dan Schneider, if you ask me. Let's get out of here before the moon gets frisky. And the moon is saying, I love you, Kane. So it's like, if it's supposed to be for kids, y'all shouldn't have put that nasty shit in there. And if it's not supposed to be for kids, why does it look like it's for kids? You know what I mean?
Wait,
There's another exit door. Remember I told y'all that was going to be a recurring theme.
what's that?
Okay, this part's real nasty. So she throws up this like digital whatever it was. Y'all saw it. And watch what this disgusting bubble comes do.
Whoa, clean up on aisle U.
I'm on it, boss.
Why did y'all put this in here? It's just literally starting to feel like it's like surprise egg pregnant Spider-Man Elsa or something. Like I'm starting to realize like a shortcut, a hack to get kids to be interested in your stuff is to just put this subversive weird shit in it. And that's what they did to us with all that and iCarly and the rest of the shit. And that's what they do in here. They're having a bubble lick up vomit. That is nasty. Why would anybody put that in anything? It's depraved. It is nasty. It is not funny. I am sorry, it is not funny. If you think it is funny, something is wrong with you. You have fallen into the trap. You have fallen for the programming. There's nothing funny about licking up vomit. It's nasty. That's not funny. There's something wrong with you if you think so.
Why are you like this?
I don't know why he's saying, why are you like this? Because literally 5 seconds ago, he was talking about cleanup on aisle 3 or whatever he said. So he almost summoned the bubble out to do that.
Wait. Was that an exit door I saw out there? Is that a way to leave?
If there was a way to leave, I'm pretty sure we'd have all left by now.
Then I'm just starting to wonder, like, girl, is this like the DMT wasteland? Is this where the machine elves live? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I assure you, there is no magical exit door. You're probably just experiencing digital hallucinations from your...
So he's gaslighting her. She's definitely seen the door, now twice, and he's saying there isn't one.
Your mind's transition to the digital plane. How about we talk about something else? Like your name.
My name?
So she can't remember her name.
Nobody can remember their name once they enter the digital circus.
So this reminds me of that Ashley O episode where it's like they transferred Ashley O, which is played by Miley Cyrus. They transferred her consciousness into this doll, but they put all these limiters on the consciousness. So they didn't let the doll have all of Miley Cyrus / Ashley O's thoughts, only some of them. And I'm guessing that this is kind of what's going on here. They erase certain parts of the person's consciousness, which shows that we're getting philosophical here, but that this world is kind of a gradual removing of the person from their own identity. They put you in a new body, they put you in a new clothes, they put you in a new world, they put you around new people, they change your name, you can't remember your name, and then you'll see what happens once the people actually do fall all the way off the brink.
So all I can help you with is coming up with a new one. Don't you worry your little head. Your new name can be anything. Hereby acknowledging that your chosen name and your name's
So he's reading all the fine print, which I do think is very funny plot device.
stating that your name may not include objectionable content. Objectionable content includes but is not limited to sexually explicit.
So you can't name yourself something obscene, explicit, etc. And he's reading it all real fast with his denture, eyeball, head, face.
Violent and or unlawful content or profanity. What are you thinking?
This part, I was like, no, girl, you got to pick your own name. You cannot let the ringleader be in charge of literally every aspect of your life. But it's almost starting to give like brainwash, like P. Diddy style brainwashing. R. Kelly, P. Diddy, giving them new names, giving them new identities so that he can be in total control of everything they do all day.
What do you think of...
I don't...
You're right, terrible. Let's try that again. What do you think of Pomni?
So he ends up naming her Pomni. She takes that, and that's her name.
We should have a brand new adventure for our new member, Pomni! You! Do you like adventure? Activity? Wonder? Danger? Horror? Pain? Suffering? Agony? Death? Disease? Death? Angel food cake? Ow! You!
He's like, do you like suffering and disease? Like, they make it go real fast so you don't really can't hear what they actually saying, but...
You! Do you like adventure? Activity? Wonder? Danger? Horror? Pain? Suffering? Agony? Death? Disease? Death? Angel food cake? Ow!
He's like, do you like pain, suffering, disease? Like, what?
Parasite! We're gonna make it a simple in-house adventure to warm you up to how things work around here. Don't worry, Zubul. I'll make it something unobtrusive that you can still choose to not get involved with. Today's adventure is...
So remember that part, because he told Zubul that she could choose to not get involved.
Gather the gloinks! That's right! The entire circus tent will be infested with gloinks! And you gotta catch them all!
But what are they?
I'm glad you asked, Bubble!
Everybody got to play this adventure. They stuck here and they got to do this man's weird games. It's literally just like that Black Mirror episode on the Star Trek.
Gloinks are small, mischievous critters that steal anything and everything they run into. Why do...
So now they haven't, and just like, honestly, just watching this feels like I'm going to develop epilepsy. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I watched it on my TV. Like, I have a large, big screen TV we have down in the living room. And watching this on a big screen is so overstimulating and overwhelming. I actually started feeling like seasick, like motion sickness. It was just so overstimulating, and all the colors and the sounds and the bloop, 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 bloop. Now it's gloinks. Now it's this. Now the guy's talking real fast and it's loud. It's like, it's almost like, I don't know, y'all. I really feel like this is some type of project, but I mean, they have the creators out here or whatever. They have believable resumes that they've been doing this for 15 years or whatever, but it's just like, combined with the dark sort of implication of consciousness harvesting and keeping you there forever and you can't leave, and it's like sort of slavery and you can't consent and you're trying to get out and you can't leave. It just feels like all the darkest things we've been talking about, like trafficking and involuntary servitude and just being hostage to the whims of just some maniacal person who's lost touch with reality. This one ain't a person. It's that wacky AI, according to the creators of it. And it's just, Weird.
These humanoid hash browns do this? How do you stop them? That's for you to find out. Now, good luck and have fun, my little superstars.
So now they're tasked, and I'll probably cut out some of this adventure or whatever, but now they're tasked with gather the gloinks. And the gloinks are, oh, you know what else this reminds me of? Spy Kids. Whenever that evil, maniacal genius guy created all these sort of hybrid humanoid creatures that he just sort of used for his own sick purposes. It kind of reminds me of that, gloinks. It reminds me of that as well. I'm just kind of, talking through what it reminds me of. But in this particular situation, they are going to gather the gloinks. The gloinks are these little shapes like stars and triangles and things, and they're thieves. They steal everything. And so basically they have to do that. And it doesn't seem like there's an opt-out option. So everybody has to play this game, and the gloinks are about to wreak havoc on the tent, their in-house where they live, and they got to gather them up.
That's just one of Kane's little adventures. Something fun to do to prevent us from going insane.
I haven't heard anybody talking about who they are or why they're there. That's just something I wonder.
Needs me, then off.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
So this is where I realized that you can't trust Kane. Because Kane told this triangle thing, Zubul, it'll be an unobtrusive adventure where you don't have to get involved. And it's very obtrusive because the gloinks just showed up and dismembered this thing from limb to limb, and they're running off with its body. So I think that's the definition of being involved.
Oh no, they killed Zubul. Anyway, you guys want to go get something to eat?
We should go check on Kaufmo. I'm pretty sure he'd like to meet Pomni. You want to come with us to check on Kaufmo?
No, I think Kaufmo's gone insane. Last time I spoke with him, he was rambling endlessly about some exit. Kind of like you, Pomni. You might be going insane too.
So more gaslighting you get. So remember, Kaufmo is that clown that didn't show up today for the theme song. Then we have Kingy, or whatever his name is, Kinger. Then we have Kinger saying, I think that he's gone insane. Which means, nobody should associate with him. The little ragdoll one is like, let's go check on the clown. Let's go check on him because I haven't seen him in a while. And then the king is like, no, we shouldn't do that because he's going insane. And he said he was rambling on about some exit. An exit we know exists because we've seen it twice. So then the king goes, oh, he was kind of doing that like you. Maybe you're going insane too. So it's just a little bit of gaslighting. We know for sure there are some type of doors that are labeled exit. And apparently this clown went insane trying to find the exit. And this is just, it gets darker and weirder as we go on. I mean, we haven't even gone through the parts yet that made me feel so weird, but let's keep going.
Wouldn't that more likely mean the exit does exist?
So she's saying, wait, y'all haven't seen him and he was looking for an exit? So what's making you think he didn't find it is kind of what she's saying.
I'd like to ask him about it, if this was real, which it isn't, because it's a dream.
He still thinks this is a dream. Okay, I've already had enough of these things. You, me, and Pomni will go check on Kaufmo, Crybaby, and Hoo-Ha together to go handle the Zubul situation.
Okay, so I'll probably cut some of this part out, but basically they decide in Scooby-Doo fashion to split up, to go their different ways, to do 2 different missions. 3 of them, the rabbit, the ragdoll, and the new character, the jester, they're going to go check on the clown, who's apparently gone insane. Then they're going to leave the king and this crying theater mask thing to handle the actual task, the actual adventure that's been assigned by Kane, which is gathering up all of the, whatever they're called, gloinks.
Come on, ladies, let's go harass the clown.
Let's go harass the clown. So they're going to go find the insane clown.
So this is where we all live.
This is where I started realizing this is very sophisticated animation. And it's done in a way where it kind of makes it seem like not. It kind of looks like, oh, maybe it's just these like prefab characters that they kind of have doing stuff. But it's like, no. These are custom characters. There's a custom background, like 3D animation. And it's kind of made to look like it's in the 90s or the early 2000s. But it's very like Pixar level sophistication if you like really look at the hair. And sometimes they change the animation style. They'll make it look different and weirder. You'll see. But they're walking down the hall where everyone's rooms are. Everybody has a room. All the characters have a room, their own like sort of like bedroom, and their pictures are on the doors. You'll see.
Sleep at night. Even though we don't really need to sleep, it's sometimes nice to kind of take a break from everything and have a bit of a routine, you know?
So see, there's everybody's rooms. And then they stop in front of Pomni's room. There she is. Now, the little ragdoll did also just say, we don't have to sleep, but sometimes it's nice to just have a routine and we'll go in there and, you know, lay down or whatever. Is this for children? I mean, like, seems pretty heavy. Seems pretty analogous to the literal circus that we're stuck inside of, run by demon clowns. But what do I know? The lady, basically the ragdoll, she basically just said,
After a while, you start to realize that you really can't leave, and constantly chasing an unattainable goal will start driving you a bit crazy. And eventually you get to asking what the point of anything is, and you completely lose sight of who you are and why you're even alive. And when you reach your breaking point, something really terrible can happen.
all of us try to leave when we're first here. We try to leave. We try to do the things that, you know, you're doing. We try to find an exit and all that. But eventually you start to realize you cannot leave. You will always end up back here. And then that starts to make you feel like you're going a little bit crazy. So you have a couple options. One of the options is just keep on trying and keep on going more crazy, and then something terrible happens to you. Or you can just play along and do the little dumb adventures and just try and make the best of it.
Above anything else, the adventures give us something to do that keeps our minds healthy and stimulated.
Like this is like a totally different animation style, right? Like this is just different. It looks different than the bright colors and even the 3D modeling and stuff. Like she's already starting to kind of sort of realize her fate, and she's having a little bit of a mental crisis. And at this point, I couldn't help but think a little bit of Dahlia to Kali, or just anyone who might not be able to fully tell the difference between reality and virtual reality, and especially when you're not sure even what day of the week it is and you don't know who the president is, you can't have access to any electronics. The only worldview you have is the one that's being told to you. It's just kind of like, I can't help but draw those dark parallels.
Again, what are we doing?
We're getting one of our friends.
Kaufmo. Look what he's turned into.
Maybe he's not in his room?
Don't worry, Dollface. I've got a key to his room.
Wait, why? You shouldn't.
Why does the rabbit have a key to his room? I really do not know. And the ragdoll is also concerned.
Have keys to anyone's room.
Nah, I've got keys everywhere, and you've all been fine. By the way, I may have left something in your room today, so let me know if you find it.
So we have a pranking rabbit, and he's done left something in her room and said, I have keys to everywhere and you've all been fine already. So it's this more like psychological torture. This rabbit seems to be one of the henchmen. And again, rabbit, like follow the rabbit down the rabbit hole, all that, you know, it's like symbolism from Alice in Wonderland. It's very that. So he's about to unlock Kaufmo room, but he just told the ragdoll, he's like, you've all been fine. I haven't done anything to you. And then he also said, I might have left something in your room earlier. So yeah, I have the key to your room. The most intimate, personal, private space you have in this world. I have the key. And she's like, well, you know, what does this guy have keys to people's rooms for? She's perturbed. And listen what he says.
You're not afraid of centipedes, are you?
Jax! That's literally my only fear. Why would you do this?
What? It could be a completely unrelated question. You'll never know until it's too late.
So he done put centipedes in her room, and she's scared of him, which I don't know why he would do that unless he's just evil. Okay, girl, what is this? This is the clown's room. No exit. Exit, 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 exit. There's exit all over. This is his room. It's giving like the number 23. What is that? What is that? Not surprising.
Oh, Kaufmo's been obstructed.
So this one says, Kaufmo has been abstracted. This ain't for kids.
It's okay.
What is that?
It might be that terrible thing I was talking about earlier when
He's been abstracted.
you reach your breaking point.
Huh?
Okay, wait. Maybe there's still time to fix him before we get caned.
So then I'll probably delete this part out, but he beats up the ragdoll. He just beats her up and she starts glitching. So here she is glitching.
Get me out of here.
So she asks Pomni for help, and Pomni does go to actually help her. But when she touches this glitching ragdoll, her hand starts to glitch. And she's like not trying to be glitching because she don't know what that means. Personally, me, I'll be grabbing her hands. I'll be trying to glitch out. I'll be trying to glitch to hope that maybe it means that I will be out of this game. So then basically Pomni's like, no, I don't want to help you, and runs away and leaves this glitching puppet right in the middle of the hallway and runs away from the abstracted clown. Now, just for, my commentary purposes, I'm not 100% sure that this thing is the clown. I think the clown could have maybe found the exit and they put something else in its room just to cover it up. But there's only one episode of this so far, so I guess we're going to have to just maybe see. I'll probably take some of this chasing sequence out, but just be aware that the thing with the abstracted whatever is chasing her down the hallway of everyone's bedrooms, and we are told this is supposed to be Kaufmo the clown. So she is able to at least temporarily escape the abstracted thing by tricking it into running into a side rail, and now there it is down there on the floor. Okay, so now we're back with our other characters. Remember, they had all split up. Here's the other two characters, Kinger and the Sad Mask. And now they're at this black hole in the middle of the floor.
I don't know what
There's screams coming out of it, and now they're just looking in it.
I'm looking at here.
We saw Gloink carry one of Zubal's pieces down there, remember?
Oh.
So they dismembered Zubal, the triangle shapes thing. And the Zoinks or the Gloinks or whatever carried one of her pieces down into this black hole.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the recap.
So then the rabbit, who's still running from the abstracted clown, catches up with these two, and he's about to basically throw a ball and force them to go down into this hole, even though they clearly do not want to.
Oh!
So now they're all going with the rabbit down this hole, and they're going to find their dismembered friend. Now they're in an LSD nightmare. And the purpose, again, is to go and find their dismembered friend's body parts.
I think it's a nest.
Then they end up running into the queen of the Gloinks. And this thing has some issues. Now, you know what this scene kind of reminded me of? That movie Moana, whenever they go down the hole into the psychedelic lair where that Tamatoa, what's his name? Tamatoa. Yeah, it's like this big crab. I really cannot put my finger on what it is. I mean, it is surreal.
Hello, Ragatha?
So then Pomni goes back down the hallway. She's basically trying to go back. She feels bad for leaving the ragdoll. So she's going back to try and find her now that the coast is clear from this Kafko clown thing. And this poor thing is glitching. And honestly, this is another one where it's like big on my TV. It was making me feel like I've never had a seizure before. I don't know what it feels like, but it made me feel like I was going down the path to seizing. And it was like making me feel kind of nauseated and kind of overstimulated. And the thing is glitching.
It's okay. What you need to do right now.
So the ragdoll, I'm not going to even play this part because the glitching and all that, but she basically says, it's cool that you left me and all that, but what we have to do now is find Kane, the dentures with the eyeballs, and he'll be able to fix me and take care of the clown demon thing.
Hello? Kane? We have a bit of an issue here!
So then Pomni does just that. She goes out and she's screaming and hollering, "Where's Kane? Hello, I need you, we need you, where are you?" Then Pomni starts opening doors, presumably looking for Kane, but we also do know she is looking for the exit. So here she is opening doors in a sequence. And all this is giving Monsters Inc. because all the doors she opens, they go to different stuff. There's one that's like a underground, like an aquarium. There's one that punches her in the face with a fake glove. There's one that's just like a black abyss with a multi-layered carousel looking like it came out of a Tim Burton movie. There's one where something is taking a shower and then it starts flying at her and she slams the door. So she's just doing this door sequence. Again, this kind of giving a little bit Scooby-Doo as well. Now she done ran into the Kaufmo again. So then a chase ensues. And then we're transported back down the black hole with the rabbit and the king and the mask, and the queen of the gloinks is now speaking. And again, I kind of think she's funny. I kind of like this character, but it's just also weird.
Zooble. Hi, Zooble.
Help me!
So while they're down there getting acquainted with the queen, they do see one of the body parts of their dismembered friend being kind of thrown around, tossed around, and it's the head. So the head of the thing is talking to them while the Gloink queen is trying to hold court.
You idiots!
So they get her head, and then this Gloink queen eats it.
Gotta hide.
So then we're transported back to the chase sequence where the jester main character is being chased by an abstracted demon clown. She stops in front of a mirror. She looks at herself. A creepy song plays, and it's almost like she's sort of paralyzed and she can't look away, like hypnotized. Then she hears the demon clown and starts running again, at which point she hides behind a barrel and she seemingly is going to try and hide in it. And she opens it, and all of these monkeys, you know, the barrel monkeys or whatever, they all jump out, and they're apparently sentient. I don't know if they're NPCs or not. And they start running every which way. But thankfully, one of them actually does distract the demon clown that has abstracted, and he ends up chasing it instead of Pomni, and that allows Pomni to make a at least temporary escape, not from the world, but from the demon clown. After she makes her escape from the demon clown, she sees yet again for a third time an exit door. Now, this door doesn't appear to have been there before, so it seems to have maybe just materialized. And of course, this time she does actually go into the door. But what she sees in there is familiar. She's kind of like more in the real world, in what is called a liminal space or the back rooms. I don't know if y'all have ever had the occasion to have a dream and you're in the back rooms, wake, but I have definitely seen these back rooms before. And it's kind of like internet lore at this point, you know, the back rooms. It's like these never ending rooms and rooms of like 1980s, 1990s office space. And you'll see she's running through them. She thinks she's trying to exit, but really she's just in a labyrinth. And that's another very common theme and a symbol in these sort of coming of age hero's journey type stories is the notion of a labyrinth. You have Pan's Labyrinth. You have a movie called The Labyrinth, where it's like a teenage girl trying to save her little brother. But in this one in particular, it's like a back rooms labyrinth. I do think it is cool how they are shooting this scene as if we are looking at her from surveillance cameras. It's kind of giving you the sense that she doesn't know that we can see her. It's just cool to get a different angle. And it's also very different. This world, these back rooms are not colorful. They're dark. No one is there. There's not songs, you know, and all of that. And then while she's in these back rooms, the door that she saw in the first place, it disintegrates away. So I'm thinking somebody trapped her in there on purpose. Then you're transported back again to the other cast of characters with the Gloink Queen, who's still holding court and basically insulting everybody.
Do you not realize that everything must be Gloinks?
I'm not here for the adventure or anything. I'm just here to hide from the...
So then the two worlds end up colliding, where the demon clown falls on the Gloinks Queen, and I think they end up getting in a fight. So then the fight between the demon clown and the Gloinks Queen just ensues and continues and carries on. So while the fight's going on, it allows our cast of characters to leave out of an escalator.
Wait, Pomni's not even here? Wasn't this whole thing for her?
Be quiet. I can't hear the escalator.
So that makes me feel like the whole thing was to distract them, while Pomni had the real adventure, which was what happens if you try to escape. And we're going to see what happens when you try to escape very shortly. But do you remember whenever the Kane character, the ringleader, was like, don't worry, triangle head thing, you're not going to have to do anything with the adventure, the new adventure that Pomni is going on. Well, Pomni has been on quite the adventure. She saw the demon clown, going crazy because he was abstracted. Then we did have the rabbit saying that Kaufmo did not abstract, which is interesting to me. He said, no, he's fine. So it's like, did they just hide Kaufmo? Did Kaufmo actually exit? Is this just some type of adventure to make Pomni never want to try and leave again? I don't know. But it's starting to feel like Kane, the AI, is just gathering and collecting data to learn how humans act within this world. So we're back to Pomni. She's still running through the back rooms. She's going every door. She's going through the doors. But we already know this is just a maze because the actual exit door that connected to that land has disintegrated. There is one part where Pomni stops and she looks at this desk with a computer on it. And it's very interesting to me that when she's looking at this desk, it's an old school computer, and all that. But there is a virtual reality headset on it. The same exact computer that you're going to see at the end of this video, which we're pretty much close to being finished now. And in the film theorist's theory, which I definitely think they're onto something, Pomni stops and looks at this computer because it's her computer from the human world. That is where she was working. And the theory goes that Pomni, the actual human, created this computer simulation herself out here in the human world. And now she's stuck in her own game. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. That's not canon. That comes from these guys right here, the film theorists. But I did want to give the credit where it was due. I did not make that theory up. But as you can see here, Pomni stops in front of this computer and she's got her eyes real wide. She's looking at the computer and it's almost like it's obviously supposed to be some type of important moment. And she's looking at the computer. Her eyes are real wide. It's zooming in. It's like a horror movie. There's horror music and all of that. And she's looking at this computer in the back rooms. Now, she hasn't stopped and looked at nothing else in these back rooms. She's just been going. So it does make me feel like the film theorists are onto something, that something did deep in her subconscious make her stop and look at this. So then she starts maniacally, I don't know, maybe losing her grip on reality a little bit. Her hand is still glitching and she just keeps going. So she finally gets to this sort of final hallway. And again, this reminds me a lot of Super Mario World, where he's kind of running through halls, running upstairs that never end and stuff like that. And she's running down this hall. Things do start to kind of, for lack of a better word, abstract. It gets slower, it gets farther, it gets darker, it gets weirder, almost kind of encouraging her to not keep going. But she's so determined to exit that she does keep walking. She does keep running down this hall. And she finally reaches the door. She's putting her hand on it. She opens the door, and it turns out to be the final door. And she does end up falling into what we have seen earlier described as the void. But the void has like these angelic choir angels singing, and it's all flying by. And I just can't help but wonder, is this supposed to be like an imitation of the DMT ayahuasca world where people have, gone and seen these machine elves? They do wear these jester hats. I've never seen them. Girl, I don't know. But apparently they kind of look like this. They're like little elves, little jesters, little jester hats. All roads leads to clowns. And it's almost like, are they trying to say that this is enlightenment? Are they trying to say that this is God? That this is the code that runs everything? It's also kind of a little bit giving the Matrix. This scene alone made me have like an existential moment, because if you do just keep thinking, right? Like if you do a thought exercise where you're like, but why? But then what? You kind of end up in the void yourself. And it's kind of this idea of playing with being on the brink of, quote, insanity, the brink of sharing a reality with others and remembering that this isn't really reality, right? I mean, it's so philosophical and it's so advanced that it just makes me wonder, is this something that is supposed to be some type of messaging for adults? This isn't necessarily, I think, inappropriate for kids, kind of like the sex joke with the moon or whatever. But man, I don't know. Maybe leave in the comments or the live chat if you're here for the premiere, like, why am I feeling so unsettled by this pilot? What is it? I'm not the type of person that's scared of death. I'm not. I am not afraid of it. I don't want to get hurt. but I kind of have come to terms with it. When it's my time, it's my time. It's not like I'm one of these people that can't really contemplate the foreverness of a soul. It's just something about this pilot got me feeling weird. So then, as she's having this void come to Jesus, all one with the universal one moment in the void, we're cut back to a scene with Kane and Bubble. And they're in a cafe with a bunch of what appear to be NPCs, kind of like non player characters, and they're just having a grand old time. But this kind of does show me that Kane has more access to this world than the rest of the characters, because the rest of the characters are not in this cafe. It's just him. He's having a grand old time.
Oh, Bubble. Yes! An alert on my wacky watch.
Then we get this commercial. It's kind of like an infomercial, like right in the middle of this video. And it's like thewackywatch.com.
Sour? Oh no! Someone's venturing out into the void! They'll get totally spoiled!
It'll get totally spoiled.
They'll get totally spoiled!
Someone's venturing out into the void. It'll get totally spoiled. But look, whenever I went to thewackywatch.com, this is what comes up. And it's just a screen where you can watch the main character, Pomni, in her bed. Like, does she know this camera's here? And like, I've clicked around on different things, and even, there's like a sound button here, there's a play button, and it's like, it doesn't appear to actually do anything. I don't know what this wackywatch.com is, but I do know that it's showing us what Pomni looks like from an aerial view down into her bed, which is like that, Penelope Taint from Amanda Bynes used to do that. And it's like, why do I need a whole website of a bird's eye view POV of a clown girl in her bed? I'm very curious. I do not know why I would need that. But it's kind of giving like, there's a movie I watched. I don't remember what it's called, and I would not recommend y'all watch it. It was so depraved I couldn't finish it. But it's about virtual reality and this like Russian or Serbian lady who is kidnapped in the style of Taken or Hostel or whatever. And she's kidnapped and she's put in a room and pretty much experimented on with virtual reality while a bunch of people watch it. And little by little, they start doing more depraved stuff. They won't let her sleep. They're not really giving her food. They're making her do all kinds of stuff. And the whole time there's people, I think it's Russians or Serbians, in the chat saying, oh, you should make her do this depraved thing. You should make her do that depraved thing. But it's like a video camera on the girl or a bunch of video cameras on her while she's being experimented on. And I can't help but think of that whenever I see this wackywatch.com. Like, this is thewackywatch.com. Y'all can go to it yourself. I almost want to call the number. Oh, it's not a real number. I'll put a picture up here of what it actually looks like, but it's 1-800-40 paper mailbox hourglass mouse phone. So it's not a real number. So let's get back into what is going on as the end of the pilot does wrap up on the amazing digital circus. So Pomni was just sitting there kind of floating out in the void, kind of like the DMT land. And what's his name? Kane pops up, takes her, and they fly back out of the void, back into the playhouse room in the tent where they live.
There you go!
Kane! Kaufmo went abstracted!
Kaufmo abstracted?
So then all of the other characters all reunite together and they tell Kane Kaufmo abstracted, which means he turned into the demon with a bunch of eyes. And then Kane snaps Kaufmo into the picture and basically says, into the cellar with him.
Why didn't anybody tell me? And into the cellar you go.
And that's whenever we end up realizing a lot of things have, quote, abstracted. And it's like, the Titans and Hercules, whenever Zeus kind of put them under the ocean with the lightning rods or whatever. It's like a bunch of them. And now they're just like human souls or human consciousnesses that are in the cellar with each other in the complete and total pitch dark. I don't know. It's kind of branded as if it's something bad. Like if you lose your mind, you become this different thing and you understand things at a different level. Then you belong in the cellar. You belong locked up. I mean, what really is it? Because another way to say it is like this man is stopping them from reaching enlightenment, is stopping them from becoming one with the one, you know? But again, I just cannot escape and forget the fact that this thing, this Kane thing, is AI. It is not a human. So we have this AI determining what happens to the human consciousnesses.
Man. I am
So after Kane puts that abstracted demon clown into the cellar, never to be seen or heard from again, maybe, then we do have the rag doll who is all glitchy, kind of like crawling for dear life back to Kane and asking him to help her. And he does. He snaps his fingers and she is back to normal. She's healed. She was talking about being in a lot of pain.
so much pain.
I don't really know what the glitching is about, but the name of the production company for this is called Glitch Productions, which I don't know if that has anything to do with anything.
Guys, for lying about the exit. I knew how much all of you have been wanting their.
And then Kane says he actually lied to them about the exit. And the reason was that he knew that the humans really wanted there to be an exit. So he created one and he created like some tunnels or whatever, some little pathways, a little maze. But he was like, I didn't really know what to put in there in the exit. So I just put y'all into the void, which I think he's maniacal. I think there is an exit. I think they can get out somehow. And he's basically planting like fake exits to make them scared to try and keep getting out of it. But I don't know. That's just my theory.
I was having so much trouble figuring out what to put on the other side and ended up never quite finishing it. Anyway, looks like you defeated the Gloit Queen, so I guess the adventure's over. Your reward is a delicious digital feast cooked.
So then he kind of changes the subject abruptly, which is something he likes to do apparently. And he says, anyway, I've prepared you a delicious feast to celebrate defeating the Gloink Queen. And then they all sit down at this very long table. And again, this comes from the film Theorists. I did not come up with this myself, but it's very interesting because they have them all seated on the same side as each other on the table. And they have this lady sitting right in the middle, the little jester, Pomni. And they're all sitting there. She's wearing red and blue, just like Jesus at the Last Supper. And it's kind of giving Jesus at the Last Supper symbolism imagery. It's just, it does. I didn't come up with this theory. The film theorists did, but I think they're onto something. The people who created this didn't just accidentally put them all on the same side of the table. They would have put them communing with each other. They put them having dinner with each other as the most natural way to put them. So it's like this Kane guy has put them all on the same side of the table, almost as if it's like a recreation of the Last Supper. And again, we are told that they don't need to eat and they don't need to sleep. They don't have any needs, but they're just going through the ritual of it anyway.
Oh, the digital food here only gives off the virtual sensation of eating.
So then we see her plate of food and it's like, you know, meat and potato and maybe that's a bread, carrot, whatever. It looks like VeggieTales. I really don't know, but they can't taste it. They can only get like the digital impression of eating. And as the final shot kind of pans in to Pomni, you see kind of a familiar thing. She's kind of like glitching. She's kind of glitching. She's having a very difficult time integrating this experience. She wants to leave. She doesn't know how to leave. She's been out in the void today. She's fought demon clown monsters. She's learning all these brand new rules of this brand new world. She doesn't remember her name. She's got food in front of her that she can't eat. She's dressed like a clown. It's just a whole thing. And then it zooms out farther and farther until you realize that this whole world is just one little island that exists within the void. And it's, oh man, this video has already been so long. I'm not going to get into my whole analysis. I just can't. Maybe I'll make like a real full video on this one day. But oh man, it just kind of like brings to mind all the like string theory and the quantum theory and bubble universes and multiverses and how everything happens in the same place, just kind of on top of each other. And different perceptions allow us to have different experiences. And oh man, it really, I don't know. This is such an existential show, video, movie. I don't even know what it is. I mean, it came out on YouTube. So then it keeps zooming out, zooming out, zooming out. And when we finally zoom out all the way, we're back in a scene that Pomni did see in the back rooms. And this is so meta because it's the same desk where we talked about earlier. It's got a VR helmet on it and all that. It's the same desk we saw back there, but it actually shows that the computer itself is where this game exists. And it also doesn't really look like anybody's been at this computer for a while. Like it kind of just looks like this sort of forgotten thing where it's like, yeah, if you like create a video game and you have characters like play in it, then part of their consciousness gets trapped in there and now it's just in this old backrooms computer. But then it's like meta because she saw that computer within the simulation, which brings to mind multiverses and fractals and quantum theory where everything is everything and nothing is nothing, and Schrodinger's cat where if you just leave it in there long enough it becomes itself. And girl, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. It's really got my brain buzzing, and it might just be because my brain's been buzzing this week anyway, but it really started to make me feel like I was losing it. I was starting to feel like maybe I was going to abstract. Look. So then that's pretty much it. I mean, the Amazing Digital Circus, and I guess they have something. Yeah. Then they just have this like outro, and it's just. What? It just, I don't know. It's like, you know, when you used to watch Courage the Cowardly Dog or Goosebumps or whatever, and you would leave away from it and be like, that was scary. I feel like if your kids are watching this, that's probably the feeling they're going to have. I don't know, you know, let your kids watch what you want to let them watch, but why is it so weird to me? It just feels so strange. It's so unresolved. I don't feel like I can really still put my finger on what it is. I really don't know. It's just, it's good. Like it's good. The animation's good and all of that. Obviously it's good if it could solicit these feelings out of me, but it's like, something's weird about it. That's all I really had for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.
You are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution. Everything I needed.
Let me tell you something right now because I know you're watching. I will be saying everything you tried to do to me.